All right, let's go ahead and get started. It is 4:30 sharp here in the greater Pacific area, the greater Seattle area in Pacific time. It's 7:30 sharp on the East Coast, and we're going to go ahead and get started now, like I said. Welcome. Thank you for being here. I'm Dean Jenkins of FollowMeTrades.com, and tonight we have a very special guest presenter, Bennett McDowell, who will present the A.R.T software. You know, as I do lots of presentations and in my various places where I talk to folks, I show my charts and people ask about, what are those triangles and what are those indicators? And, they're the applied reality trading system. And I just get so many questions. I thought it'd be great to bring the guy who created the A.R.T system here to demonstrate it for you and to answer your questions. So to make sure you can ask your questions, real quick, locate the questions box on your GoToWebinar control panel. And just to make sure you can find that, go ahead and type in where you're calling from, what city, what state, what country. It's always fun to see and see where folks are calling in from, just to make sure you can locate that. All right, Dallas, Canada, Xenia, Ohio, Las Vegas, La Center, Washington, Florida, Ohio, everywhere. Great, Canada. Mark's calling from Canada. Okay, while you're typing that in, I'm just going to type a quick message, just say hello in the chat window. And make sure you see that. You probably see a little flag popping out. So just make sure you can locate the chat area, because that's where we're going to post links for you to get additional information. Georgie's calling from Bulgaria. No way. Great. Thanks for calling in. Boston. Okay. Well, let me go ahead and introduce our guest speaker, our presenter for tonight. It's Bennett McDowell. He's the creator of the Applied Reality Trading System. He's the CEO and president of TradersCoach.com. And Bennett and I don't just work in the same industry. We're good friends. We work closely together, and he's been my mentor for several years. And I give him full credit for just really helping him with his coaching, his support, and the A.R.T software, and turning the corner and becoming a successful, profitable trader. So I'm just so pleased that Bennett was willing to come present to you tonight. And I'd like to go ahead and just turn it over to you, Bennett, and I'll change presenter and let you show your screen. And go ahead, take it away.
Okay, super, Dean. Let me get set up here on my end, so just give me 1 second here. And let's see here, make sure I get the right screen. I think we're in good shape now. You should be able to see my screen. How's that look, Dean, okay?
That looks great. Looks great here. And you sound great. All good.
All good, okay. Technology taken care of then. Excellent. All right, well, first of all, welcome, and thank you for having me, Dean. And it's always a pleasure. I love speaking on webinars. I travel around the country, especially years ago when I used to do a lot of speaking with the Intershow people at the various traders expos we used to do. So it's always great to get out and meet the traders. Today we're going to cover a lot of material. So we've got a lot of slides to work through. And I want you to ask questions. So if you have questions, feel free to put it up in the questions window. And I'm just going to ask a favor, just be a little patient in me getting back to you on your questions, because I may purposely wait until a certain segment to actually get back to you and answer your question, but I will get there eventually, okay? So just hang in there. All right, first of all, before any webinar or a live event like this, we have to mention, of course, the risk and talk about the fact that there is risk in trading. But you know what I say on this? Without risk, there's never any opportunity. The two go hand in hand. And it's not just with trading, it's everything. So there is risk in trading. We want you to use risk capital. We want you to know what you're doing. We want you to use stops. And if you're not sure, always consult with your financial advisor or somebody in your financial network that can give you the kind of guidance based on your personal situation. So I think that's very, very important. Dean, I appreciate the nice introduction you gave me, and I want to also invite everybody to our website. We have a new website, so that's up and operational now, and I'd love everybody to stop over, and if you'd like to give us any comments, we always use feedback from people, whether it's on our webinars or visiting our websites. We love your feedback, because that's how we make our products and services better. So please drop by. I've also got 4 books out now. We used to have 3, but I just released the Elliott Wave Trading book, and that one was published by McGraw-Hill. So we have 4 now out, and you can get these at Amazon. The great thing about Amazon that I love is you can read all the reviews. So check them out. They've wide range of topics from risk control to how to use the A.R.T software to how to run your trading as a professional hedge fund, and of course one of my other favorites, which is Elliott Wave, and of course Dean and I use that a lot in our trading as well. So I love this slide. Don't be shy. All right, ask questions. There's no such thing as a bad question, because I guarantee if you have that same question, there's 6 other people that have it as well. So interaction promotes learning. How true, how true. And I'm going to start out now by asking you all a few questions. And one thing I'd like to know is how many people out there think trading is complicated? How many of you out there thinks trading is complicated? Just use the questions window and type in, getting a lot of yeses. Okay, some no's, very much, very much. Well, it can be, especially if you're new to trading. There is so much information out there, right, that it's hard to know what you can trust and what you can't, and what works and what doesn't. So we're going to try to work on that a little bit and show you a little bit about what works for us in the markets, and I think that's going to help you too. All right, now, I want to piggyback on that question. Those of you that are trading or have been practicing, so to speak, how many of you have and adhere to trading rules? Okay, good. A lot of yeses out there on this. Okay. Some are saying they have rules, but sometimes it's hard to follow them. And you know, if you have a tough time following your rules, probably your emotions are getting in the way. And again, I think when you're first starting out in trading, that is really, really quite a normal response because there's just so much information. Sometimes it gets a little mind-boggling, and we kind of resort back to what we feel to do. Okay. So we're going to talk about trading rules today, okay? I think that's really important aspect of being a good trader is to not only have them, but adhere to them. All right, and finally, okay, would you be interested in learning a structured and systematic approach to trading the markets, incorporating trading tools, showing you that trading really is not that complicated? Of course, right? How many people have gone to shows or demonstrations and the speaker puts this chart up there and it looks like spaghetti? He's got so much stuff on there he can't, you know, it's hard to see the price. Okay, how many people have seen that? Of course, right? Me too. All right, you want to keep it simple as possible. Trading really is not that difficult, but you can make it difficult by having too many indicators and relying on just an overload of information. So you got to be careful about that. So we're going to try to simplify that for you today, okay? We think that is important. One of the first things to talk about here that I think is really, really super important is structure, all right? When you approach the markets or any, okay, career, you have to have a game plan. You have to be able to know how to handle a situation when it's thrown at you. It's kind of like, you know, if you're a pilot of an aircraft, okay, you've got to be trained to handle, okay, whatever comes at you. What happens if an engine fails? What happens, you know, if the pressure in the cabin, okay, fails? So you have to have a game plan for these things that can occur, all right, at any time. And the markets are no different, all right? You have to have a game plan ahead of time in order to basically handle the markets as they unfold. So we're going to talk about that and show you some ways in which we do that. Now, the other thing to think about, all right, is I like to put trading, I like visual examples, and on this visual example, it makes trading like a pie, okay, a pizza pie, okay? So think about that. And we've identified 4 major areas in this pie that you really have to master in order to be successful at this business, all right? The first piece is on the upper right-hand side, and that's uncovering trading opportunities. So, you know, when you look at the market, especially, you know, stocks, there's over 9,000 stocks, probably a lot more than that now, all right? You got a ton of futures markets, you got Forex markets, you got bond markets, you got individual currencies. I can go on and on and on, right? You got stocks over in India, you got stocks overseas everywhere. So, you know, how do you markets to trade, all right? And that comes under uncovering trading opportunities. And there's a variety of ways in which we do this. And let me just say there's a variety of structured ways in which we do this. You know, you can hear a news event, but that doesn't mean you're going to act on the news event. You use that news event to see what markets that may affect, and then you apply your trading approach, your rules, your trading software tools to see if there's any opportunities in that arena. The second way is we have something called the turbo scanner, and this scanner will actually scan the universe of stocks or futures or Forex, regardless of the time frames, all right, and uncover opportunities for you there as well, all right? One of our favorite forms of technical analysis is we look for bracketed markets. These are markets where they're going sideways because, you know, big trends will come out of bracketed markets that have been extended for quite some time. So that's one area you have to master. The second area, of course, is when to get in and when to get out. All right, that's entries and exits. You have to master that, and for that we have a suite of trading tools that we call the A.R.T trading software for that. Okay, so entries and exits are important. Money management is important, and for this you have to be able to calculate the proper risk on each and every trade based on your account size, based on your entry and exit, based on your win-to-loss ratio, your payoff ratio, and all these things that formulate into a good, sound, risk control plan, structured plan that you can apply on each and every trade. And you've got to have good record keeping too. Okay, we have a great product called the Trader's Assistant for that. And then we also have something called the Trade Size Calculator that calculates our proper trade size. You know, how many shares or contracts you go long or short with. And then the fourth area of the pie is psychology. All right, we call this the trader's mindset. That's our goal, to develop the trader's mindset. And basically, good psychology can lead to optimum trading. You know your trading rules, you know your trading approach, you know when it works best and when it doesn't. So you look for markets and patterns that are most favorable to your style of trading. Okay, we also have a great psychology course if you're having trouble with emotional trading. You know, fear, okay, and the seductiveness of the market in the form of greed and so forth. We also have personal coaching in this area too. So think about, when you think about structure and you think about trading, I want you to kind of remember this slide because these four elements are really, really important. If you master one or two of them, hey, that's good, but you're still going to have a hard time being profitable. You really have to master all four, okay? So I think that's important to realize, and one of the things I like to start out talking about. All right, so let me ask one more question before you all start asking questions. What would help you be more successful in your trading? What would help you be more successful in your trading? Knowing when to enter the market, knowing when to exit the market, understanding how to implement risk control, or to be more confident, or E, all of the above. May all our tests be this easy, right? The answer, of course, is E, all right, all of the above. So that's what we're going to try to do today during our presentation, is get you to have a feel based on structure, on good trading software tools and approaches, and implementing risk control, okay, and each and every time we take a trade. All right, so let's talk about some of the right trading tools for you and what we have in that category here. All right, good trading tools enable you to find the best markets. You're not going to get stuck in these quiet, non-trending markets. I know Dean runs a service and he focuses on certain patterns, okay, and these patterns are the same ones I use too, and they work, okay? It keeps you always going in the right direction versus having your money tied up okay, going nowhere. Okay, so you don't want to do that, right? All right, locate key entries, exits, and profit zones. You have to know when you enter a trade, you know, what's your risk to reward? Where is this trade supposed to go? And when it doesn't, when are we wrong? And it's time to get out. And of course, you have to use risk control because nothing is ever 100% in the markets, right? So you always have to have risk control because our goal with risk control is, anybody know? What's the goal of risk control? All right, getting some answers here. Keep your losing trades small and let your winners run, right? Okay, excellent. All right, so that's what our goal with risk control is to get those losing trades small, or at least smaller than our winning trades, all right? And then our win to loss ratio and our payoff ratios, all right, start to produce profitable returns. Very important stuff. Okay, so those are what good trading tools enable, and it's important to understand that. So when we talk about trading tools, this is our goal of what we want them to do. All right, now one last question. All right, how many of you think trading is the perfect business that can deliver financial freedom? Good, getting a lot of S's. A lot of yeses. Okay, excellent. Now, if you don't think so, all right, you need to rethink why you're here. Okay, because what happens if you don't really feel you can succeed in something, okay, either you have to prove that you can by doing more testing, all right, but deep down inside, all right, if you don't achieve this level where you think trading's a perfect business, all right, your heart's not going to be in it. Okay, so that's really important, which is why I bring it up. I personally think trading is a perfect business for a variety of reasons. My biggest one is it's recession-proof. In other words, when the economy is either not doing well and the markets are selling off, I can make money shorting the market, right? Or when the market is booming, I can make money going long in markets. Compare that with other types of businesses. For example, retail business. If retail is if you're in a recession, all right, and the markets are going down and the economy is not good, how are you going to make money in retail? Tough. That's why so many retail businesses went out of business during the financial crisis. Same thing with real estate. If it's not going up, all right, you're going to have a tough time. Okay, so trading's unique in that we can actually go both ways on the market, to the long side during good times and to the short side during bad times. That, to me, right there, makes it the perfect business. All right, and when we talk about trading tools, I also like to talk about some of my students, Dean being one, of course. But, you know, we've got a few quotes from a couple of our folks. So we have tons of emails. If you go on our website, look at our testimonials, they date back all the way, I think, to 1999. All right, and we have tons of people that have emailed us on our trading tools. And what I love about these two guys here on this slide is Scott from Jacksonville, Florida. He says he's finally doing what he dreamed of years ago. And when he first came to us, he basically didn't have any structure. And the A.R.T system was what really made the difference for him because it gave him the structure, okay, to actually trade on a consistent basis instead of just throwing darts at a board or trading on emotion. So that was really a good thing for him, and we love hearing stories like that. And then Bob from Old Bridge, New Jersey, all right, I love this comment. This is the most I've been impressed with any software package. I love the software, and it's made me $8,800 since I started using it in just 1 week. We get tons of emails like this from people who have purchased our system, and in a very short period of time, we get emails that it has already paid for itself. So, you know, this is the proof in the pudding, and Dean is another proof in the pudding as well, that these tools work, okay? All right, so let's talk about these tools. Let's go in and figure out kind of how they work and so forth. Well, again, what we focus on is that we want to give you structure because most losing traders lack structure. And this is where the A.R.T system really comes in because it's a complete system. We just don't talk about entries and exits. We talk about all four of those elements of the trading pie. Remember that? Okay? We talk about scanning the markets, finding good markets. We talk about entries and exits. We talk about money management. We talk about psychology, okay? Everything. All right? A.R.T works on all time frames and all markets. So I would like to say that up front because a lot of questions that come in when I start talking about A.R.T is, does it work on all time frames and markets? And the answer is yes. The A.R.T software is consists of three studies, software studies. And these software studies get loaded onto your chart. First one is called Pyramid Trading Points. Second one is A.R.T Reversals. Third one is A.R.T Color Bars. Okay? A.R.T stands for Applied Reality Trading because the A.R.T system focuses on price primarily. Also momentum, which is how fast price is moving. We also have incorporated some of the latest technological advances in our software, and that includes voice entries. In other words, you'll get a voice that comes on telling you when to go long and when to get out of the market. Now, the A.R.T pyramids we're going to talk about because they talk about primarily identifying trends in the market. They also tell us where to get in and where to set our stops. So on our first slide here, this is how they look on the chart. And basically you buy when prices get above the apex when these things form, and your stop gets put down at the bottom there near the base leg, one tick under that particular low that created the base leg. Software also takes into account momentum. This is what they look like also on a short market or a short trade. And then these pockets between resistance and support are where these pyramids can form. Okay, so markets don't always go straight up, they zigzag, and so we look for these zigzags in the marketplace for these particular pyramids to form. And here's what they look like on a chart. And notice on the far left-hand side, you'll see at the bottom of the chart where the entry was at 42.36, and this is what I'm talking about structure. Okay, the market moves up, we get new pyramids forming. All right, we got one here, and we get another one here, and another one here, and another one here. And when new ones form, we move our stops up. Okay, that's the structure. We're always trailing our stops under key levels of support that the market is actually putting in. And then finally, we let the market take us out when it goes or dips below the most recent pyramid's base leg stop, which would be this red line here. And then notice we even got one to go short over here. Okay, so that's how the pyramids, all right, keep you aligned in a trend and yet also protect your profits by allowing you to move your stops up. And it's pretty simple. I mean, we made this so it's pretty graphic in terms of easy to use. That was our goal here. All right, let's move on. This is what they look like in a short trade. Same idea. Now, what's interesting here, all right, is that a lot of folks out there, and I used to be one of them, I used to use a moving average for a stop. Problem with moving averages for me was that they tend to look something like this. They would always take me out of a perfectly good trend. How many out there have had that problem with moving averages? Yeah, of course. All right, and then you tweak them, and you think you got it right, and then the next market comes around, and it's not tweaked for that market. So it's constantly a battle trying to get them set up right, in which you really never do. So I abandoned the moving average model for stops, and I found that the A.R.T system, using actual key levels of support when the market pulls back with the right momentum, was much better. Look how this pyramid here had a stop here, and you never got stopped out, all right? Went sideways and then dropped down. So then we could move our stops down here and here. And in this example, you'd still be short because you're not stopped out yet. All right? We also have some other rules, okay? Like if you have more than 4 pyramids, we start looking for trend exhaustion and maybe start thinking about scaling out as well, all right? But all this is covered in our material, okay? I think that's important. So here's another market, okay, where we have pyramids of different sizes, all right? But they all do the same thing. You go long here, stop here, stop here, stop here. We even have rules for adding into a trend, okay, which is kind of cool too. So this is all the kind of stuff you're going to learn, the structure you're going to learn around the software. We have something called A.R.T reversals, which are pivot points in the market. But the thing about them is that there's a very strict code that we use to identify these, simply because we want them to be high probability trades. But the idea is every pivot has a pivot point, all right? And we call this particular pivot a one-bar reversal because it pivots on one bar, okay? You got a bearish trend and pivots up with a bullish price bar, okay? Let's go on and see what other kinds we have. Okay, this is a two-bar reversal. And the reason for a two-bar is it pivots actually on the second bar right here. That's the bullish bar. This is still bearish. All right, so it pivots, it turns on that two-bar reversal. All right, this is what they actually look like on charts. All right, so they're pretty easy to see. A price bar, this happens to be candlesticks, but you can use it on an open, high, and low price bar as well. Okay, two-bar reversal, one bar, two-bar. Okay. All right, the other neat thing about the A.R.T system is that it is not, and we made it this way on purpose, not a 100% black box system. And the reason we did this is because we want to give you options. For example, if you were in a trend trade here, all right, you would have gotten in on this price bar here when it clears the apex. But then we have pivot point reversals in red that are actually bearish signals. So if you wanted to scale out at certain times, all right, you can use these particular price bars, okay? And there's a variety of reasons of why you may or may not want to scale out. All right, again, we give you some good structure, good trading rules on how to determine and when to scale out. But for the sake of this particular slide, just notice there were 3 opportunities, each one having a different yield of profit from the original entry, okay? So that's built into the system as well. All right, now, you've seen how A.R.T places your stop, and I'm sure, you know, the next question is, a lot of you probably have a hard time determining where to put your stops at times, okay? And so this question is to focus in on the stop loss placement. And again, I'm going to go back to this trade we looked at before. It becomes pretty stress-free, all right, on how to move your stops. You move them right up under the pyramids, okay? No guessing, all right? Just right up until you're stopped out. All right, now another question we get asked a lot, all right, is, you know, when you're in a trade, all right, does a market, or you're thinking about taking a trade, all right, you need to really know sometimes if the market's going to make more highs or more lows. In other words, you may have been in a trend, it may be stalling a little bit, and then your question is going to be, is the trend over, bullish or bearish? All right, and should I get out of my trade now or wait for more profits? All right, of course. Well, we have come up with 3 indicators that we use in conjunction with the A.R.T system. These are add-on indicators, all right, and we came out with these after the A.R.T system, and they've been a real super big help to everybody using the A.R.T system. So let me go through these real quick. The first one's called a precision trend filter, PTF, and I know if you've looked at Dean's charts, he has these indicators loaded on his chart as well. And the PTF, very simple indicator to use. Again, our motto is keep it simple, and I won't say the other word, keep it simple, KISS. All right, and this has a 75% accuracy rate, and it's very simple. When it's green, bullish, red, bearish, yellow, neutral. So let's take a look at that and see what we mean by that. So in this example here, notice on the left-hand side, look at the oscillator. It pierced an upper band. Now we have special settings that we use for this indicator. And when it pierces this particular area here, there's a 75% probability that the market, okay, is going to continue higher. All right, you may get a little bit of a stagnant channel like we did here. You may even get a little bit of a pullback, but it's saying the trend to the upside is not over yet. And that's very valuable to know. That's going to keep you from going short when you shouldn't go short. And it's also going to give you confidence, all right, if you want to add into a position as well, or even take a new position. So in a case like this, when it's yellow, just find the highest price bar in that yellow area, and that's going to be the one that we have circled on the far left in the beginning. And we have a pretty good confidence that it's going to go higher, and it did so, all right? And when it went higher on this price bar here, it turned the indicator yellow because the momentum that drove it higher, okay, was not high enough to keep it green. But then it pulled back a little bit and kept going back up. We had a couple of red price bars, and the momentum changed. All right, then it pulled back, so we knew it was going higher, and then it pulled back and went higher as it should have, based on the indicator. And then the momentum stalled, all right, so it went neutral, and then it started popping up again and making a new high here, pulled back, but the indicator was green now, so we had a 75% probability that this move was not over, and it went up. Now we have still a green indicator, even though it pulled back, all right, we still don't want to go short, we want to keep long because that indicator is indicating more highs to come. So it's very valuable to know that information, all right, in your trading. Let's take a look at some more examples. Look at this one here. Here's where the market actually sold off, put a bottom in here that drove the indicator and kept it red. All right, many people would have gone long here, okay, but this indicator would keep you out of the market, and sure enough, it did make more lows. So it's a great, great tool to quickly see whether there's a high probability that the market or the trend that you're currently in is just in a correction or maybe over, okay? So let's move on. We got some more to look at. Here's the precision trend filter, all right, being yellow, okay? Yellow's okay. You can go long on yellow. You just don't want to go long on red. All right, but then the momentum picks up and turns it green. So if you were considering adding on to your position here, that would be a pretty good probability that you're going to be okay because it's remaining green. And sure enough, it's starting to go higher. It's green currently, and that means that's not the final high. The highest high is here, so the market's going to go higher. All right, and at this particular slide when it was taken, it was at 73 and 76. Was the high on this price bar. So you got a good 3 points of higher highs with a 75% probability it's going to go above 76. Good information to know, all right? And then the other indicator, when we tie this one in, this is really cool too, is the Optimum Wave Locator. And the Optimum Wave Locator can be used in really two very basic ways. One is that when the oscillator is green, take only long trades. When it's red, take only short trades, okay? Don't go long, all right? And so you can certainly see that that's pretty easy. If we get a pyramid trading point entry here, all right, and the owl is green, hey, it's good to go, okay? So that's one of the ways we use the owl. We can also use the owl to help us with Elliott wave counting. How many out there of you enjoy Elliott wave or use it? Yeah, quite a few, right? Good. Yeah, excellent. Excellent. Okay, good. So what we do with the owl is use the histogram levels, okay, the height of the histograms to help us, all right, verify Elliott wave counts. So if you know anything about Elliott wave, we know wave 3 is the steepest wave out of all 5. And because it's the steepest wave, it's going to have the most momentum. So you're going to have a peak in the owl indicator during wave 3, which is what you're seeing here on this slide. All right, and then after 3, you're going to eventually go into 4, and we would expect to see when we go into a corrective 4, the owl turning red here, right? And there it goes to the far right-hand side of the chart. All right, and then finally the third enhancer is basically an automatic trend line drawing indicator. And again, what it does is it automatically draws trend lines on your chart. And it has short-term trend lines, intermediate, okay, and longer term. All right? And as long as the color, and then we put a ribbon at the bottom, all right, so not only does it draw the trend lines, but then the ribbon at the bottom sees what's going on, what is the most, at this particular point, what is the most active and current trend line, and that's the short-term trend line, so it's a light green, okay? So it just means if you have green, okay, the trend is still active, okay? A lot of people use trend lines also to scale out, okay, as well. But this is just a nice handy little indicator that if you're in a trend or about to go into one and you've got a green trend developing, the trend line master will catch it, okay? And again, here the purpose of this chart is to show you we've removed the trend lines and just kept the indicator, because some people, you know, if they have a lot going on in their chart, they may not want the lines being drawn. They just want to know, hey, is the trend bullish or not? And that's the purpose of the indicator ribbon at the bottom. Does a great job, okay? And of course you can see it green here, so that's another verification of taking these long pyramids here. All right, so let's move on a little bit further here. All right, so now with the enhancers or indicators, what we do is we add them to the A.R.T system, all right? And basically we use them almost like a checklist, a confirmation checklist of A.R.T signals. So for example, on this chart here, we have all three of the indicators loaded at the bottom. And don't forget, we call these enhancers as well. And so here we're getting, okay, a situation where we have a red owl here. So we're not going to take these pyramids yet, okay? But then when it breaks above, because this is kind of a channel here, right? So then when it breaks above, notice the owl turns green, all right? We don't have at this point of entry a red PTF, so we can go long, and the trend line is green. All right, so we got a pretty good 2 out of 3 indicators, or 3 out of 3 indicators are not indicating a bearish market, and 2 have already turned green. So that's a good time to support a buy based on the pyramid. All right, and then again, as this particular thing took off, all right, it even developed into a wave 3. Okay. Here it is on a Forex market, the Euro USD. All right, here are the trend lines all on. And notice that the short position, you see no green on any of the enhancers down there. Okay, and the reason for that is because it is a bearish market. So you're getting the red light, so to speak, to go short. Now, one thing also I want to just point out here, this happens to be on TradeStation, and the other charts were on NinjaTrader. And notice that TradeStation puts a pink dot, okay, here on the indicator. And the reason we do that in TradeStation is they don't let us write text over histogram bars. So you can't write wave 3. So instead we indicate wave 3 with a pink dot, okay? And again, we have very specific rules, the structure that follows on using these indicators, and you will learn that. All right, where we got a situation that if we this is kind of a typical and kind of a little bit of a messy market, but notice how well the A.R.T system did with the indicators. So we got our first short here, all right, our stop is here, broke up here, gap down, all right, enhancers are all bearish, okay, so all's looking good. So we got a red PTF, so we want to stay short even though we filled that gap a little bit, went down again, okay, and most people emotionally would say, okay, that's it. I'm going to get out of the trade, you know, that's it, it's not going to go down. We had a red and a PTF there, so, you know, we felt it was going to go lower, and it did here, okay? And then at that particular point, okay, no more of a red PTF, so we could think about scaling out. But if you didn't even want to scale out and just use the enhancers, all right, your initial stop would be here, and look at this. Your next stop on the verified P is here. Okay, so that's where you would have eventually gotten out of the market over here when it went above that P. These MPs here are minor pyramid trading points indicating corrections only in the market. The P pyramids identify the primary trend. Okay, let's move on here. Okay, hold on one second. All right, so the next slide, all right, is just a general roundup on the A.R.T system. All right, and one of the things that we want to talk about is the fact that in the A.R.T system, not only are you getting high probability signals because you're relying on price, okay, price and momentum. You combine that with the add-ons of the enhancer, okay, enhancers, and you've got a really nice set of trading tools, all right, that can manage the trade, all right. It's better than a black box system simply because you can also create some trading rules around when to scale out, okay, and we're going to give you the basics on our trading rules that we think work best. But some people like to tweak them a little bit to basically how they trade, and there's no problem with that as long as you test it and your P&L proves that that's a good thing to do. It's got built-in intelligence. It's going to look at the momentum in the market. It's also got the intelligence to give you voice activation, entries, and exits. And also we have lifetime support. So when you purchase any product from traderscoach.com, one of my big beefs, okay, is continue with good support, because if you give people good support, they're going to come back again and again and again, and that certainly has proven true here. All right, so ongoing support, I think, is a very, very important. Now, I want to answer some of the questions that I see up here. One is, do these filters work only on daily charts? And the answer is no. They work on all time frames. And if you've been in Dean's trading room, he will have these tools on intraday time frames on a variety of different markets. And we, of course, have traded on the S&P E-mini 2-minute market, but we have now the A.R.T software actually being used in over 70 countries, 70 worldwide, being traded by people that are day traders, hedge funds. Some are even trading Indian markets. They're over in the Middle East trading foreign markets. So it doesn't matter what time frame or market it is. If you can get the price into a charting platform that's compatible with our software, and I'm going to show you what those are in a minute, all right, you can use the A.R.T system. All right, very simple. All right, let's keep going. Let's move on here. All right, with the A.R.T system, you also get 30 days of Platinum Care. All right, now I want to talk about what that means. Platinum Care is our software service care. And basically what it allows us to do is remote into your computer if you need us to and install the software for you. If you're unsure about what platform to use A.R.T on, we can install it on a couple different ones for you, and then you can test those. But we have a technician that can do all that for you. So, you know, if you're kind of not very good with installing software, we can do it for you. Some people like to do it themselves, and that's fine. The only thing is it's great to have us do it because we'll create templates for easy loading and things like that. We also have weekly ongoing live trading, and I think this is one of the most important things, because every week on Wednesday I hold a client VIP webinar, and it's an hour long, and basically we meet every week forever, and we record these things, and we go over on how to use the software, what markets look good, answer your questions. So that's an ongoing training. So the idea is by probably going about a month or so, you're going to have a pretty good idea on how to use the software best for you, okay? And those are really helpful. I know Dean went to those all the time when he was first learning to use A.R.T. And then we have a quick start consultation, all right? And the quick start is basically you're going to get instruction when you first purchase the software. It's a one-on-one, hour-long private consultation that we give you, where we go over how to use the software, make sure you got it all set up. You usually have this consultation after the software is installed, all right? So the consultant can make sure you have everything looking good and so forth. And then he'll walk you through on how to use it, so that's really good. We also give you a home study course and things with the software, so he'll make sure you have access to that as well. And then, of course, we have 24/7 email support, so you can always reach us through the email. These are the compatible charting platforms, and I want to spend a minute on this, okay? These platforms are what our software is compatible with. And it's compatible with eSignal, TradeStation, NinjaTrader, which is a free charting platform as well, Trade Navigator, multi-charts, MetaTrader 5 and 4. We have, if you're going to be trading the Forex, most people use MetaTrader 4, and most Forex brokers supply, okay, if you have an account with them, they'll give you the MetaTrader 4 platform with the account. You purchase our software, we go in and install it for you, and you've got it right working on your MetaTrader 4 platform. If you don't have any of these, okay, maybe you're using a TD Ameritrade account or a Schwab account, but you're interested in this, I recommend getting NinjaTrader. Okay, it's a free charting platform. All right, you just give them your name and email, download the platform. They have free end-of-day data, and they also connect to a variety of brokers, okay, and data providers. So you can import data in through their API and use our system on that, okay? So go ahead and just remember these. You may want to write these down: eSignal, TradeStation, NinjaTrader, Trade Navigator, multi-charts, MetaTrader 4 and 5. All right, I want to talk a little bit, because we're getting towards the end of the webinar, I want to talk a little bit about our special offer that we wanted to do for Dean's group today. And basically, normally the price of our A.R.T system, this is for a lifetime license, that includes all updates. Once again, that's a lifetime license. We're not going to charge you for an update a year from now or 2 years from now or 6 months from now. It includes all the updates. And the normal price is $3,998. Okay? We're going to do it today for $1,999. Okay? And in addition, we have a 10 calendar day. Let me repeat that. A 10 calendar day money back guarantee. So you can try it on the markets you like to trade, okay? And we're so sure that you're going to love our approach and love our software tools that you're going to keep it, okay? And we've had great success with that. All right, also, if you order tonight, we're going to give you the Platinum Care. You get the live weekly support sessions, but we're also going to give you the online A.R.T home study course. Okay, we sell that separately. All right, for quite a bit of money. All right, you can see it's a $14.50 value. This is a 4-week home study course, and it has videos, over 4 hours of videos, a 286-page study manual workbook. So by the time you finish that online home study course, and it's go at your own pace, you're going to know exactly how to use the A.R.T software as well. And again, you get a quick start one-on-one with our head coach to get you kicked off properly. All right, now, the value of this package, okay, you can see is quite a bit of money. So this is an excellent deal, but we wanted to do this for Dean's folks. Now, the other thing too, okay, is that we also wanted to include something else tonight, and that is the Trader's Assistant, okay? We have a record keeping, this is an organizer, this can keep track of your trades and also give you some really cool statistics. So if you order by midnight, we're going to give you this free, and normally we sell this for $9.98. Okay, so this is something I think everybody should be using. I mean, how many times have you gone and asked somebody their results and they tend to walk away because they really don't know what their results are or don't want to look at their results? The Trader's Assistant will force you to look at the reality of how well you're doing, and then you'll be able to fix your trading if you need to. So that's a big plus. And here's just an example of the stats as well. So also, you heard me talk about the enhancers tonight. When you order the A.R.T software online, you're going to get taken to another page where we're going to talk a little bit more about the A.R.T enhancers, and you'll be able to add that onto your order, okay? And we're going to give you that for 50% off as well. So those are at $1,197, and that's an add-on to the A.R.T software. Again, lifetime license, and that's 50% off, okay? Now, Dean's even made it even better, okay? If you order by midnight, he's got a couple options here for you, okay? First option you're going to have is the quick start he'll do with you guys, because you know him, all right? A lot of them you're in a room having a trading picks or whatnot. So Dean will perform the one-on-one session with your quick start, and he'll make sure everything's organized and you got templates and everything like that. So that's cool. Then the second thing is he'll give you a choice of either A or B, and A being a 30-day subscription to his advisory service where he picks stocks and options, okay, for you to trade. All right, and he does 1 to 2 new stock picks each week. All right, so this is pretty cool. And again, these are picks that Dean is taking in his own account using the tools that we talked about here tonight. All right, and that value, he says, on that is 127. Or you can choose option B, which is a 90-day, 3-month subscription to his live trading room. Okay, he has a live trading room too, and I've heard a lot of good things about that. And Dean, Dean, I was on there with you just yesterday, and it was great. Okay, and each morning for market analysis, he comes on, talks about the S&P E-mini, the 500, futures accounts, everything, stocks. He looks at a variety of markets, and you're with him for a number of hours each day where he actually shows you the setups and you can take the trades. Okay, so that's the deal. So on number 2, you can choose either A or B, right, if you order by midnight. All right, so that's cool. So you get that for free too. So you get a lot of stuff, okay? Now, if you look at the chat window right now on the webinar software, Dean has posted the link to place the order for the A.R.T software, and you can also add on, okay, the A.R.T enhancers if you want to, as well as even the turbo scanner, which is a scanner. So there's 3 things, okay, that you could potentially buy tonight. But the first one we want you to start out with is the A.R.T software. All right, we've made really good prices on everything else if you want to add it on to the order. All right, so let me just see a couple other questions here. Let's do a good trade. So NinjaTrader 8. Okay, Steve is asking, is our software on NinjaTrader 8? Not yet. NinjaTrader 8 is in beta still. It has not been officially released yet. So we're still on NinjaTrader 7. When NinjaTrader 8 is officially released, then we will upgrade our software for NinjaTrader 8. The reason why we don't do it early, Steve, is because a lot of times there's a lot of last-minute changes after they get feedback from everybody in a beta environment, and we don't want to have to do 100 revisions of the software before we release the official. Okay, so we're going to wait for that to be officially released, but the updates will be coming once that's released. Okay, all right, let's see what else here. Okay, I think, James, I covered what the A.R.T enhancers is. If you have any other questions, feel free to ask that. And Scott asked quite a few questions. Scott is one of our users here. He's talking about the PTF and the percentages there. Okay, and he says 100% true. Thank you, Scott. Okay, great. Okay, I think I got them all. So Dean, I think I'm going to turn it back over to you. All right, and I want to again thank everybody for attending. We had a great turnout today. All right, and Dean, I want to thank you for putting all this together. And so I'm going to turn that back over to you, and everybody have a good evening, and I really look forward to working with each and every one of you.
Great.
Dean, back to you.
Great, Bennett. Hey, thank you very much for that presentation. I enjoyed it, and I've seen this material before, and it's just good to see it all come together, and particularly to talk about the structure and trading. Boy, you just couldn't be more right. And again, that helped me turn the corner. And I would just say, about 5 years ago is when I met you, Bennett, and when I purchased the A.R.T software. And I always hesitate to recommend something to people if I haven't tried it or bought it myself. I bought the A.R.T software long before I knew Bennett and Gene, and I paid full price. I wish there'd been a 50% discount then, but it was worth every penny that I paid. And he's offering a great deal, 50% off the A.R.T software, and with the extra things we're throwing in with the Trader's Assistant, and then with the live trading room and the or a month stock picks. I'm just looking. We're just getting ready to get out of a trade. CLVS, if you want to look at it on your charts, right? We've been in it less than 2 weeks, and we just made enough on that trade that you could pay for the pay for the software package. And you saw some testimonies earlier that many people pretty quickly make the investment back pretty quickly if they go through the study material, if they're are serious about it. And so I just would encourage everybody, if you want to be a professional trader, you need professional tools. If you're a carpenter, you go out and you get a DeWalt or a old Milwaukee, drill. You don't go down to Harbor Freight and get the cheapest thing possible. You need professional grade tools to be a professional and to do your job well. And I can't recommend these enough. And again, it's because I use them and I find tremendous value in them. So thanks for being here. Thanks, Bennett, once again for a great presentation. And thanks, Gene, for helping field questions. And we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. We did record this session, and we'll send out a link. So if you can only be here for part of it, you can go back and watch it. Or if there was just a lot of information, you want to see it again. So we'll send it out. A recording, it'll take a few hours to render and get posted and all that stuff, but it'll be coming out. And we'll email out the link as well. But if you're interested, boy, I'd sure encourage you to take advantage of that offer by midnight, because you get a bunch of extra really valuable stuff included. So that's it. I think we'll wrap it up. And thanks again.